Hey, this is Sasha. Welcome to another Inside Day at Backstage Income. And today, again, we're just going to take a look at another light. This is the GVM RGB Light. So let's check it out. I'm going to do a quick little unboxing, test it out, and give you some thoughts. The whole point behind me getting this RGB light was really, hey, showcase some products, maybe change the background a little bit in the future, and just giving a little bit more accent to some of the videos coming up in the future. So anyways, let's take a look and see what's inside. All right, so here's kind of the box that you're gonna get if you get this light. I'm not gonna give you the product or item number because I hear GVM changes their item and model numbers all the time. So basically, this is an RGB light. It's a cheaper version. It's not anything huge. This one's around $65 or $69 or so. I will link to one in a description below that you can go ahead and check out, but you'll get kind of this carry case. Let's see here what else is in here. This is my first time also looking at it. So let's open it up. Gonna get some instruction manual. So this is what the light really looks like. This one is the GVM RGB 10S model. Of course, there's some others that have been adjusted and changed on the product numbers. So here's kind of a diffuser. It kind of looks like the F7 from Aperture. One thing I noticed is right here, you got to peel off kind of the protective coat for the diffuser. So you got a little diffuser there. Maybe is there another one on the other side? Probably not. So you could go ahead and diffuse this light. Let's see how this goes in. Okay, so probably something along those lines like that, and might be able to adjust it a little bit better later. Got a little bit more protection here as well. I'm gonna wait to go ahead and check that out a little later. So here you get a battery charger. You got a battery. This is the Sony NPF battery. So maybe this is one of the reasons why it's a little more pricey and expensive, because you're getting a battery with it. I actually do have some better and more premium batteries that I use. I'm gonna show you one of those. This is the K-Star battery that I use. You can check out on my website. These are huge. You know, when you compare it to this one, a lot bigger, more powerful. I know this one's charged. I'm going to plug that in. But you also get, I guess, an adapter to mount it. And they have a DC port, mount port, no second mount port like the ALF7. It does feel a little lighter than the ALF7 light, the Aperture light, but this one is RGB, so you could mount it here. There's no additional port, but the battery does go here. Let's pop in the battery, see what it looks like. There's the on button. Probably have to hold it. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. Light kicks on, and here we have this nice LCD panel, so you can see we do tone that. We can tone it down completely. It does take a few seconds, I guess, for the light to actually kind of appear, and that's already at 10% and that's 5%. So it goes in increments of 5, it looks like, which is fine. You can't dial it down perfect. But yeah, so if you want to see the LCD panel, there's kind of what it looks like, but it goes in increments of kind of 5. Not increments of like 1 like some other ones. So it does have a little click, 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 click feeling to it. So can't really hear it, but that's what it does. And then this one, I guess, is, let's see, the color temperature. So if we want to go down to kind of the cool temperature, and then I'm going to imagine you press this in, boom, to go to the blues or to other colors. Let's go to 100% right here. So you can see now if I'm showcasing a product or something, let's say I'm showcasing this box, and we'll kind of put it off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and start tuning this dial. So as you go, you can see we're tuning to kind of the greens and the yellows and the purples. So I'll go through all of these for you so you can see all the different colors. And there you go. You can see we're back to the greens. That's one thing I didn't notice in the past. So here I am about, I would say hand distance, probably from my shoulder holding this light. So I'd say it's about 3-4 feet. And the light is very strong. It's a strong light, and this includes the diffuser. And as I adjust the hue, you can see right here, we'll go into kind of green. You can see it adds a little subtle feel to kind of the product, you know, and you can kind of wrap it around over here if you want kind of the blues to kind of hit it from this angle or this angle. And we're going to go ahead and go into a little bit more purple. It does jump by 5s, just like it does on the hue, just like it does with the percentage. But you can see it's not really a problem, but you can dial it in quite perfect. I really like this light. So right there we go from 350 to 355, and then it hops back to 0. So it starts out with the red, then we go to the orange and yellows, back to the greens now. And then, so there is that one little jump as you're playing, but as you can see, and then sometimes, like right there from the teal to the blue, there's a little bit of a bigger jump. But other than that, you know, you can get a mix and an array of colors, which basically means, you know, if you have a light like this, which is very powerful, you pretty much don't need color gels, which you could still use color gels. I think they still have their place in the world of video. But if you do have a light like this, you pretty much now can do all kinds of things. And the whole point behind this light is the RGB factor. I'd say it's twice the price of one of my other lights. So if I show you one of my other lights, this is a different light. This is, what is this one? ESDII kind of light. And this is just a, you know, white or yellow kind of light. It's probably, strength-wise, they're probably equal, I would say, looking at it. But this one is not RGB. This one is kind of regular. So let me show you, I guess, the difference here. If we go kind of to the face, you can see, whoa, pretty strong. So you can see here, if I go to the background, and all of a sudden now we start playing around and changing the color, this is a gray backdrop. So take a look at what it's doing to that background. And if I go under here, you start manipulating it, you can get all kinds of colors in the background. So you only need one of these lights really to change, and that's your hop from going to the next level on the color spectrum on the hues. But you only really need one light to really totally change a background. You can see it right there. Okay, if you look at it with this other light, which is just, it's a little bit smaller actually, this light, it's a little bit smaller. You could still light up the background, but this is just a white kind of backdrop. So you could see, you know, it's not as strong and it doesn't feel as strong, but it is a little bit smaller in size. So you can see, you know, there you go, right at the camera. One's a little bit smaller, so obviously it's not going to have as much output. But overall, you know, if you're looking at this kind of RGB light, I do find it very nice. It is twice the price of the other one. Is it worth twice the price? If you want RGB, I think it is, because then what you could do is you could switch it back. Oh, I guess you could also change the saturation. So there you go. So that's another factor. I didn't even notice that. Saturation and color temperature. Whoa. Okay. So at first I thought you'd just change the saturation, but let me show you here what's going on. So if you look at this light and you start evaluating it, here we also have, if you click it, you got one for CCT, you have one for hue, and then one for saturation. So I could go to saturation 0, or I can make it very saturated. So now you get some very rich colors. So let me go back to the hue. Let's tone some purple in there. And now let's saturate it a little bit down. So now you get a lighter purple. Okay, so that's what it's kind of doing. So I really like that feature. It's pretty cool. And I guess if you just want to kind of use it at 5600 as well, it's a pretty good light on its own. So definitely it's got some power and some oomph. So that's just kind of a basic light on its own. And I think you can definitely get a lot of great use out of it. And it can definitely be served as a key light. I would think if you want kind of flexibility and you want to get kind of one light, an RGB one and this, I think it needs another level of diffusion. Like one level is fine as it is right now. But going one more level, you know, putting in like a little softbox around it, could be even more beneficial. You might need 2 or 3 of these, like 1 on one side and 2 on another, to kind of fill the face maybe, but then you got a pretty powerful light. But is it worth twice the price of kind of this one? Just kind of depends on if you want RGB. If you like the RGB and the colors and you want to play with the colors, I think it's definitely pretty cool, especially once you get into all the different funky colors, because you can see you can easily change my whole background color, and that's a gray background, and you can now change it up and do some more creative things with it. All right, so anyways, I hope this was helpful, insightful. You know, I might pick up another 1 or 2 of these lights, just to be a little more flexible, versatile with my studio and setup, because now they're becoming quite amazing at the technology they produce. In the past, we had to use those gels. Now you don't really have to do that anymore. You could pick up an RGB light and you could create whatever color you want. All right, so thanks again for sticking with me. Enjoy the rest of the week ahead, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel by clicking the face icon here, or joining my business newsletter list club. In there, what you could do is go ahead and enter your name and email address, and we send you out some cool freebies, PDFs. You can go check out our website and download some there. All right, thanks again, and I'll see you next time.